Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte. I am going to begin the week with a brand new project, and this is going to be a paper bag journal. So I'm inviting everyone to come along and let's see if we can have some fun. I did start this. We are going to start this from the very beginning, and stay tuned. I have a little surprise for you at the end of the video that I hope that you'll be interested in. So what we are going to create together, this really does goes like this. So I was playing around over the weekend with some bags, and I came up with the idea. There are a lot of bag journals on YouTube, so lots of different styles, lots of different sizes. So I would recommend that you just do a search for bag journals and see if you find a style that you really like. But this is one of the ones that I am going to do, and I hope that you will grab some supplies and join me. You are going to need a bag. You're going to need glue, some washi tape, paper cutter, and sewing machine if you do choose to use a sewing machine, and of course a ruler. Some bags. If you don't have bags, you can make your own bags out of paper, or you can not use bags at all. But this is not done. This has not been decorated. There's been no pockets added. I'm going to get you to this point, and then we're going to go ahead and continue together. But what I wanted to do was create something that had bags in the front. As you can see, this has 4 bags, and then I used a doily, and then there's 2 more bags here, and then on this side we have a journal. I haven't decided what I want to do with this yet. It could be pockets. It could be a single pocket with a large tag or journal card. It could be a belly band. Just know that whatever you do in here is going to take up a thickness, so you want to be conscious of that. And then I was looking at this thinking this would have been really cute with a ribbon tie. I think if we want to do that, we probably still could by slipping it underneath. But yeah, I was just thinking it'd be cute if this was tied off. So we'll see if we decide we want to do that. But I've got pages in this, so this is what we're going to do together. And then this will close like this, and then I don't know yet what type of closure because I don't know how we're going to do the front here. So let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about the bags. Now for this one here, and this is 9 inches, I think, maybe larger than that. This particular bag, yeah, this is 9.5 inches. No, it isn't. It's 9 3/4 inches tall. So almost 10 inches. I was gifted a long time ago several of these large white bags. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where you would go to buy them. This bag folded like this measures 6, just in case you wanted to do a search. And I don't know if they measure bags like this or if they measure them closed. I'll give you both. This measures 12 inches. I'm sure that's going to be, so 6 by 12 bag. And so if it was opened, like if this is the bottom, then this would be, I can take it this way, it'd be a 6 by almost 10.5. Almost 10.5. So what I did with this bag is I opened her up completely opened her up, and instead of opening another one of these, I am going to use a standard lunch bag and show you what I did with that, with the white bag. So here is a standard lunch bag, and this would work totally fine for this project too. Any lunch bag will do. So you're going to take your lunch bag and you're going to open up your gusset on both sides. For those of you that love this bag sound, I know you're happy. For those of you that don't, you're probably cringing, but we have to do it. You're going to open your bag and you're going to get this top up here flat, as flat as you can, trying to work out any of the creases, and it can get fussy, but once you get to this point, you're going to have something that looks like this. Now, I have seen, just so you'll know, when you take the top, I have seen journals done where this is the top. They will just half this, and this will be the top. And that's fine, but you've got a lot of thickness in here when you do that. So what I did on the white bag is I took it all the way to here. So I folded this whole top in like that. And I think a lot of this is going to be determined by how long your bag is, because I would cut this off just to here and glue this down. I wouldn't use it as a pocket. That's just my preference. But when you go to fold this, if this is your lid or your top, when you go to fold this, this will be your journal space, what's in here. So if you want more journal space, if you want to be able to fold this over and make it your pages wider, then you're going to take less here for your top. So this would become part of the journal and not the top, like that. So you have to decide which way you want to go with that. So I went to save time. I went ahead and I cut out all my pages. So I know that'll be my top. So here is, you can see, here is the top of my bag right here. So this whole thing here is going to be this. Here is my top. So what I'm going to do is take a glue stick and I am going to glue this down. We don't need this. So this measures, for those of you that might have this size of a bag, this measures almost 4. I know this one that I did measured 4 right on the line. So my crease was right at 4. My fold was right at 4. So the first thing we're going to do with this is we are going to glue this down, because we don't, like I mentioned before, we don't need this. So I'm going to get my glue stick out. And we are going to glue this down. You can use wet glue. You can use any kind of glue you want. You can use tape if you want. This works for me, and I'm going to be putting cardstock over it, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And we are going to stitch. I'm going to stitch. You can stitch if you like. You don't have to. But if you don't stitch, you want to make sure that your edges, excuse me, your edges are glued down really well so that they don't, with use, they don't come up. So if you can stitch, I think that's a bonus, but you don't have to stitch. So I'm going to work on the outside of this first. And I am going to, just need to remember that's my back. I am, for the front, going to take a piece of this, and I have it so that there's just the tiniest bit showing when it's folded. You can see not a lot, just the tiniest bit. So I am going to be using this as my guide, and we are going to glue this down, and then I will cut these edges off after. Now, this too is an option. You don't have to have these cut edges. If you wanted to, you could have it where your journal cover is completely squared like this, even though you're using the bag, because when you open this up, you're going to have another piece of cardstock on here. So this is going to be pretty strong. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So let's go ahead and let's glue this on there, and then we're going to talk about the inside. So I am going to put, and this isn't because I'm going to stitch. I'm not real concerned about my glue here, but I am concerned about the glue around the edges of my cardstock. This here is going to get the wet glue. Because I am going to cut it off. I don't want to have to worry about it on this side, and so I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue. Not worried about where. If you're concerned, take it, put this on top, take a pencil and make your marks. Then you don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it anyway. And like I mentioned, I am going to be watching here and at the bottom and at the top. And getting this down here like this. Making sure that I can fold and I'm good. And I am going to give this just a couple minutes to dry, and while I'm doing that, we're going to talk about what's happening at these two fold lines. So I am going to take this off, and so I don't get confused, I'll put it back there. This piece, we can take this piece, put it back there. So we've got two folds here that we know we're going to stitch into, and they're weak. This bag is not a thick bag, so we know we're going to sew into this. So I am going to reinforce this with Tyvek tape. Now, don't have Tyvek tape, you can use Scotch tape, packing tape, you can use washi tape, you can use masking tape, just anything that's going to reinforce. We don't have to worry about the outside when this gets reinforced. This is one side being reinforced is all we need. So I've got this Tyvek tape, and I'm trying to think of where did I get this. I either got this from Home Depot or a building supply store. They have a complete Tyvek department, or I purchased it on Amazon. I've had it for quite a while, so I apologize, but I really don't remember where I picked it up. So we're going to need 2 pieces. And I am really bad when it comes to adding tape. It's the only time we're going to need this tape. So you just need your 2 pieces, and then you can put it away. What I like to do is take a pencil and go on my grid, this is 1 inch, and just find that 1/2 inch mark so that I can kind of get it somewhat centered, because many times I will end up with like 3/4 of an inch on one side and 1/4 of an inch on the other side, and then my fold never feels right. We are going to be covering this up with washi tape, so if you use masking tape and you know, or a washi tape, maybe you have a washi tape that you don't like, you can always cover it up with a washi tape that you do like. So that's the point. Don't worry about that. This is an easy project. So that's what we're going to do next. We are going to put my lines here on my grid so that I can see where I'm going. And we are going to lay, it's adhesive backed, so you don't have to worry about putting down any tape, but this kind of gives me an idea if I'm in the center or not when I go to lay this. Peel and stick. So as long as I keep this on a line, hopefully I can be somewhat straight and centered. And then I like to give it a bit of a burnish, just to keep it down. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. We went in the pool yesterday for the first time this year, so that was fun. It was probably around 80, 82 degrees in the water. I like it a little bit warmer than that, but it was good to be able to go in. We're going to burnish this. You can see this is easy. There's nothing to it. Then we're going to cut those ends off. Turn the ends, making sure I don't trim something I'm not supposed to. So watch out for my paper. And if you don't get them exactly right, you can come back. And if you cut into your bag a little bit, that's not going to hurt anything. So there we go. So we've got that. So now we're going to go back to our cover here, and we're going to trim those corners off. So we don't need them. And we have to trim the corners before we put the other piece on, or we won't remember where to trim the corners. So if you cut into your bag, not a big deal. If you're going to stitch it, it will be fine. If you're not going to stitch it, you might want to go back and make sure you didn't cut into your bag. And if you did, just stick a little glue in there and you'll be fine. So there we go. So let's look at what we've got here. Hopefully we have something that looks great. And because of the tie-back, we want to burnish those folds so that that tape understands what it's doing, just like that. Now we'll take our inside piece, which is this piece here, and we are not going to pay any attention so much here because I am going to put a piece of wide washi tape. I am watching this piece here. So look out for the top and the bottom, and look out for this over here, and don't worry about this. If you're not going to use washi, then you want to make sure that you get this as even as you can, because you have no way of hiding any flaw that might happen here. But at the same time, you are going to sew bags in here, so you have a little bit of leeway there. But I think using the washi is great because it just allows you another chance to get that washi tape out that maybe you don't use so much of, and get it on here. So I am going to do the same thing with my edges that I did. I didn't cut the edges beforehand and measure because it was just one more thing to have to look out for, and I didn't want to mess with that. So make sure I've got this the way I want it to go. And we're going to do the same thing here that we did on the front piece. So, like I had mentioned before, this is a really, really good first bag journal project. And we want to just watch our edge here and our top and our bottom. Just like that. Get this down. And I know I've got glue on my table. And then just kind of go around here. Give that a chance to dry, and I think we will do this piece next, which is inside piece is this one. And let's just double check to make sure that I am correct. So this piece, one thing that you want to do, I did cut this off. If you look at the edge, and the brown bag was the same way, I just cut it right to there because I didn't want the serrated edge and I wasn't going to use this. You can, if you want, keep this open. Your stitching won't be the same. If you're doing stitching, you could keep this and keep a pocket. I didn't want a pocket. I can always add a pocket on here if I wanted one, so I went ahead and closed it all up. So this piece, I'm going to do the exact same thing because we're having washi here. You just want to make sure that this piece does not interfere with your fold line. I didn't burnish this. Let me burnish that. That's why I'm having trouble. I'm sitting there thinking, where's my fold line? Well, we put the tie back on and we didn't burnish. That's why I can't find the fold line. There we go. Okay. So we want this probably as close to the edge as possible. Yes, we do. Okay. So I know my glue stick is running out. It just kind of helps to hold it. Make sure I'm right side up on, that's not it. Make sure I'm right side up on this. And I am glad I cut all this before the video, because you would have had to spend a lot of time, just wasted time, measuring and watching me cut. And you can see I did not distress anything. This paper is so pretty. I just didn't want to distress on it. So we are going to go as close to the edge as we can on this without going over. Just like that. Just burnish it a little. Make sure that we are good this way. And I think we will do this one, which is this beautiful piece here. Get this out of the way. We're going to do the exact same thing, guys. We're going to get, I think I'm going to open this up. It'll be easier for me to see the edge against this background instead of white on white. Get that as close as I can. It's going to be close. I can see that. It is going to be close. And I did not, yes, I did stitch down here. I think I did a straight stitch. I did a zigzag stitch around the whole perimeter, but then going down the ends, I did a straight stitch. So, and then I did go around the perimeter of the whole journal and distressed just the edges because the bag is white. And I did a light distress. I didn't do anything heavy. So we're going to get this as close to the edge as we possibly can, because we're very close here on the score line. So here is this inside flap. I haven't thought yet about how we're going to decorate this. Let's make sure we fold, and we do. And so let's do this inside part, and that is that page. Should put a alligator clip on this to keep that closed. Okay, what did I say that was? This is the back. No, this this goes here. This is the inside. Yes. Okay, we want to make sure that we're kind of centered. Like I said, we're going to have washi tape, so we're not going to stress about it. See if I can get this to last me through this. It'd be great. And I went to look to see the name of this paper, and let me look again and see. Just in case, this is cardstock that I have in my stash, and I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I didn't have a lot of it, enough of it to make these 2 journals plus maybe a couple small ones. So see if I can get the name. I have no idea if it's still available, but just in case you're wondering and you want to do a search. So there is the inside, and we'll come back and do the washi tape. Here is the back, I think. Let's just make sure we fit with no issues. And we do. That is our back. There won't be any washi tape on the back, you can see, but we could decide to put lace. We could decide to do some crochet work. I don't know yet what we're going to do, but I'm going to have to open up a new. This is gone, so let's get rid of this. Let's open up a new one just because I want to be ready. But you can see this is, if you've got small bags, this is a really, really great way to use up a lot of your scraps. If you've got the larger pieces, or maybe you've got 6x6 pieces of cardstock. I think too, sometimes when you purchase something in a pack, you might get a couple patterns that you really are not that crazy about. I think a bag journal would be a really good way to use up those pieces of cardstock, because you can always cover a lot of those pages up that maybe you're not so fond of using lace or crochet work. And that way you don't waste what you've spent good money on. So I think that's important to consider too. I know you probably tend to, if you're like me, you tend to just kind of put them off to the side and think, oh, what am I ever going to do with these? They make good backgrounds for collaging on top of also, but I think using them in something like this works really well. So let me see, let me grab some of these pages and see if we can find a name for those of you that may. This has nothing on it. If I had to take a guess, I'd say they were from Prima, but I don't see. You can see they've got maybe this side, but they say nothing. They came like this. They're so pretty, but they say they have no, if anybody knows, or if you're familiar with these, if you would leave it in the comments, and then I can make sure to let people know in case somebody would love to pick these pages up because you can see, I mean, it's really pretty. So now we're going to get into the washi tape. And I'm using this washi, and I want to say this comes from the washi shop, but I can't promise you. I got this probably year before last, or I probably got this before COVID. So I've had it for a while, and I'm going to eyeball it. I'm not going to worry about it, but what I am going to do, this is where we put the tie back. What I am going to do is take and put some glue stick down here. I'm not going to use wet glue. I had no issue with it on the other, but I am going to go down the crease like that, and then I am going to go down more or less flat, and then I'm going to come back and make sure it's adhered. And sometimes you'll come back days later and you'll see that it may be curling and you need to go back with some glue. And I am just going to center this as best as I can. And like I said, I'm not going to really worry about it. Gorgeous, gorgeous washi tape. Just beautiful. But then what I do want to do is, while the glue is wet, I want to come back with my bone folder, and I just want to burnish down in there. Then we're going to burnish the washi tape and hope we don't have a lift. But it's not permanent tape, so sometimes you have to come back and you just have to give it just a little bit of extra help. And I would say especially in the corners, but then again, I am going to be stitching this, and I am going to be stitching down here. So if anything lifts, it's an easy fix. And I'm not going to fold it right away. I'm going to give it a chance to have the glue stick dry. Give it a chance to adhere. So we're just going to trim this off, and do the same thing to the other side. Let me see if this will be easier to see. And I'm not worried about if I happen to kind of cut my bag a little bit. That'll be all right. But you'll see how beautiful this particular washi tape blends in with this paper line. It is really, really pretty. And when I said I went around and I distressed, it's just so that you could cut this off if you want, but you don't need to. If we distress it, it's going to look really good. So now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take our glue stick and we're going to run it down. And if you wanted to put washi tape on the other side, you could. To me, it's kind of a waste of the washi. It depends on what you're going to do with the other side. I didn't, because if I happen to put crochet work or whatever, you're not going to see the washi tape. So to me, it's just would be kind of a waste. And so I really didn't see the point in doing that. This washi tape is so beautiful. I hate to waste any of it. Too pretty, pretty to waste. So now once again, we're going to burnish. And we are going to burnish the rest of it. And then we are going to trim it. And then we are going to lightly distress while this is drying. And then the next step I will do off camera, because the next step is to stitch. And I will tell you exactly where I'm going to stitch for those of you that want to stitch and just need a little bit more guidance or security of where. And you could use a straight stitch if you want, but I will tell you exactly what I'm going to do, and I will show you on the other one. Okay, so we are going to go ahead now and we're going to distress just around the edges, just lightly, just ever so lightly, just to kind of make the white so it's not so bright. And then I am going to take this to the machine, and on a zigzag stitch I am going to zigzag all the way around the perimeter, and then I will stitch it like the, oh, we still have to cut this off. Then I will do a straight stitch and come down just on the inside of the cardstock on both these sides here. So yeah, I totally forgot about this. Let's cut this off. And we'll just match it up. Okay, so let's get out our distress ink. This should just take a second, because like I said, it's going to be quick, just like that. And I prefer to do this and the washi before I stitch, and the reason is because if you do the washi afterwards, then you're not going to see your stitching where you put your washi down, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be consistent. So this made the most sense to me, but you can do your bag however you want to do your bag. So that's the inside. We're going to turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing to this side here. This goes fairly quickly because we're not really being concerned with the actual distressing. We just want to take a little bit of that brightness off that bag. And I can see where my washi tape, I didn't do a very good job. My washi tape. So then what you want to do is you want to fold your edges and just distress those ever so lightly. And if you're doing blue or pink, sometimes taking a distress ink in that color is really pretty too. So this is what we have so far. So we are going to stop with this part because now we go to the sewing machine. So sewing machine on this, and now we're going to look at our bags. So what I did is I pulled 4 bags that I wanted to use, and I went ahead and I pulled 2 pieces of scrap, coffee-dyed paper, and folded them to make hinges because we need hinges. If you look at the way that I did this, when you open this, I want to be able to put tags or ephemera or whatever I want in here. And so what I did is I hinged these bags, and I put a doily in the center so you didn't just see that. I wanted something pretty in there, so that's what I did. Now we can come back later, we can decorate these bags. And when you fold this up, you can have this on the top, or you can certainly have your bags like that. That's strictly up to you, however you want to have your journal. So what we're going to do is, I know these are going to be the first two. These will be the last two. So because this is the smallest bag, I am using a smaller piece of hinge, because if I used a larger piece of hinge, it would come up here. Nothing wrong with that, but I didn't want that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to hinge this, and you can hinge in the center if you want, or you can come all the way down to the bottom. It is not going to matter. I do want my bags to be the same at the bottom, so I am going to bring this all the way to the bottom. So I am going to take and run a bead of glue on the outside of this, like that. You could glue the whole thing if you wanted to. I think it'll be easier if I just go ahead, and I'm not going to bring it all the way to the edge because this is going to be sewn in, and I just want a little bit of leeway. I don't want my bag all the way up to the spine. So then I am going to attach my bag, probably, I would say, 1/4 of an inch out from the spine, the fold. Just like that. And then what I did on mine is I took some scraps and I covered this edge up. I will show you that in just a second, but let's go ahead and get these glued. So we have this piece, and then I'll have to look and see how I did that. How did I do that? Okay, I have this piece, and then I have, because this goes in, okay, I did that backwards. I should have used the larger piece, and I used the smaller piece. It isn't going to matter, but I used, yeah, that's what I did. Okay, so I messed up because this is going to share the front and the back, and I had the longer piece for that, and I don't think I can take this off. This is already adhered, so we're going to work with that. So the way that this goes is this piece then, because it's going to be stitched in like that, this piece should go, yep, this piece then will go in here like that. And a hinge is a hinge, so you don't have to worry about that, the height. Not so much, but yeah. If I had not done this, I would have added the hinge that goes all the way to the top. But it's really not a big deal. It's going to work anyway. So you're going to put your first bag on and your last bag on, and then the two in the center, because this hinge is going to go in here. So now I have to cut this hinge so that it will fit this bag. So let's do that. We're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to put our glue. Just like this. Put our bag on. So 2 bags share one hinge. This one on the outside of the hinge. This goes on the inside of the hinge. So this, and then I'll show you what that's going to look like so that you have a better idea of what we just did, especially if you're brand new and you've never done a hinge before. So this will get sewn into our journal like this, just like if this were a signature, okay? So when this is in your journal, the way that I have this is you will open this up. This will be sewn in. So we are going to do something with this, and then you will open this up. And then see, I did not like this. This is where I inserted a doily, and we will insert a doily in this as well. Then you have this one, and then you have this. And if you wanted to, and we still could, depending upon the thickness of your bag, you could back up another bag to here. And we might put an envelope bag on here. So I will put a doily here and we will stitch this. The way that this will go is you've got, just pretend this is all stitched. You're going to take this and you are going to put it, sew it in there just like you would a signature. Right there like that. So when I see you next time, this will be sewn and this will be inside, already sewn in here. And I'll just be using the standard pamphlet stitch. Create my 3 holes, go in the center, come up here, go back down, come up here, and then tie it off there. And then it will look like this. But when you fold this, I probably won't, but if you wanted to, you could add another bag here. I went ahead and just took my scraps and put them on the edges, but you can decorate these bags way more than that if you want to. I might add another couple pieces of scraps. We'll see what we end up with. So I think I'm going to stop this. Get your pages ready. I probably will have pages ready and we'll put them in this before we carry on because it just saves time that way. I did the 3-hole pamphlet stitch here. I am a big fan of the 5-hole. So I have, let's count, I've got two pieces of cardstock in here. So let's count how many pages I have folded. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 pages. So there's 20 altogether. And I kept it at that because we're going to add some pockets and stuff to this. And you have to be really careful, like I said, of how much thickness you're going to get. But the 5-hole, if you want to do the 5-hole, you're going to create your 5 holes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come up from the back with your thread. And you're going to go down the next hole. And then you're going to come up the top hole and go down this hole. Then you're going to come up the center hole, go down this hole here, and then come up this hole, go down, and come up and tie off. That's how that will work. So I'm going to think about, I'm pretty sure that I could slip a ribbon in here, which I can. So I'm going to think about slipping a ribbon in here and tying this off to keep this closed. We'll see. I want to think about the bulk, so we'll see how that works. But this is going to go like that. I think I might like it better with this. This will get bulky when we fill up our bags. And we've got leeway. I mean, if this bends, that's still going to be beautiful. And then we've got this down here for beads and charms and things. So this is exciting. So if you want to work along with me, go ahead and get to this point and get your papers in, because we'll pick this back up probably Wednesday, and we'll get to this point, and I'll see then. I will be working on this and see what we're going to do for tucks and pockets and that sort of thing. But I wanted to show you what I had been working on because it was pretty exciting. I've never done a needle book, and I started a needle book. And I don't want to give too much of it away because I want to do the show. But, yeah, look at, I'm so in love with this, guys. I can't even begin to tell you. But I'm trying, I think I'm going to make a pouch to put this in. I thought about making a bag, and I changed my mind. I think I'm going to make a pouch to put this in. And, yeah, I think it's so cute. So I'm just going to show you the very first couple pages, and then the rest of it you have to wait. You just have to wait. So when you open it up, and this has no decorations yet, I'm going to add charms and beads and things. And I think I'm going to put a safety pin here, a black safety pin with beads and a charm hanging off. And on here, I think I'm going to wrap lace around this, but I don't want to give too much of it away. But look at how beautiful this is. Then you've got 2 pages of lace. Look at this. Oh, isn't this just so pretty? And it will go in my shop. And then what I did is I'm not going to go any further than this because I don't want to give it all away. But then what I did is I got out my blue beads, these here that I get from Hobby Lobby. This is called Sapphire Blue, Sapphire Multi. And there's different colors in there. So what I did is I separated the colors depending upon the safety pin. Like this has all like the see-through blue. This has 2 solid blue. This has the iridescent, and this has the darker see-through blue. Oh, I am so in love. I don't know why I didn't do one of these a long time ago, but that's the front. This is the back. I might do more to the back. I'm not sure. It's just going to have a wraparound ribbon, but I just wanted to give you just a little bit of a peekaboo as to what is coming. So, yeah, been doing that. So I will catch everybody tomorrow. I hope you're going to enjoy this challenge. I wanted to pick something that was going to be fairly simple for beginners, and I hope you'll stick it out to the end. Get your bags out. If you want to make one ketchup, it's real, this won't take you any time at all. Just grab your stuff, catch up, and I will see you probably Wednesday where we carry on, and I will have this in the pages sewn in. So then we'll see what's going to come next. So take care, everyone. Have a great, great day. Bye now.